Hello, everyone. I'm very delighted to be here with you all, our ACCA members and affiliates across the Middle East. Many of you, they know me. Probably the others, I didn't get the chance to engage with you. My name is Malik Sarayuddin. I'm the Regional Business Development Manager for the ACCA Middle East. And I'm very happy we are engaging today on our session, our webinar. You know, we have done many engagements in the past in different countries across the Middle East, especially for the last 2 years during the pandemic. We have done a lot. And now we are happy that we're going to resume our engagements, and this time hopefully face-to-face, especially we're exiting the pandemic. So hopefully very soon we'll be resuming our travels across the Middle East, and we're going to be engaging with you in different countries, different cities across the Middle East on different areas such as CPD sessions and of course others. So today's session, our webinar is about ERP and SAP introduction webinar. Very happy to have the session today with our speaker, Salim Hamadi. He is the Managing Director of Arts and Business Innovation, and he's going to be sharing professional insights around ERP and SAP in particular. Of course, we are very, I believe we are very familiar with the institute name as a leading technology enabler, and especially with ERPs. So Salim going to be sharing, as I mentioned, professional insights on particular about the impact and the importance of ERPs and SAP, and one of the solutions they have that really helps the accountancy and finance function across different organizations, and in particular with SMPs and SMEs across the region. So I don't want to take much long time. The floor is yours, Mr. Salim. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Malik. Thank you, ACCA, for this introduction, and thank you, everyone, as well, for your interest in the session. Okay, so hopefully today we will make it an interesting and informative session for everyone. So basically, let me get started. So we have a 60 minutes agenda. We will be discussing on a high level the ERP definition, its benefits, ERP in our today's business, how its impact on accounting and finance in general. And then we're going to go for SAP and have it as a showcase, specifically in the SME market, okay? And give you a high level preview how it tackles the financial challenges and the taxation on a high level. Okay, then we're going to go for the Q&A discussion. I would be delighted to answer your questions. So as we start, just a brief about me. So my name is Salim Hamadi. I'm the managing partner and ERP consultant at Arts and Business Innovation. Okay, so basically what we do is we support SMEs in digital transformation on multiple products. However, our core focus is SAP products and further extensions as HRMS, e-commerce. We provide business intelligence. Okay, so we try to make the business smart as much as possible. And in today's technology and the tools that the technology provides us to innovate and to create business processes, we believe that digital transformation became an art. So this is how we derived our name, or we named ourselves. So basically what we do is we support SMEs in various industries, from retail to manufacturing, trading, oil and gas, wholesale and distribution, real estate as well is part of our focus. So basically this is what we do on a high level. And for me, my background is basically, I started my career as accounting and finance, and I used to be in audit as well. And my career path led me to the ERP and the software industry throughout the years. Sorry. So to get started on a high level, let's define an ERP. So today, what is an ERP? I know that lots of us, we heard the ERP, a lot of us, we know exactly what's in ERP. However, let's break it down into a simple definition. So basically, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. When we say enterprise, definitely we know it's any business entity, whether it's a government, non-government, industrial entity, or etc. Our resources is our assets and human capital from cash and banks, inventory, and so on. Okay, and for planning, and this is where the main, our core part, why we named it as plan, it was named as planning, because basically when you plan, you need to prescribe your data, you need as well to describe your data, and you need to predict your data. So basically, these are the three methods of analysis that most of the ERPs use, which we name it as prescriptive, descriptive, and predictive analysis. And these three methods is simply, if you need to go over them, if you need to prescribe your data, you need to know exactly what's the data that you need to deal with. And then when you select your data, that your data should describe exactly the event or the incident behind this data. And if you need to predict your data as well, you should have a variety of data or a 360 view, what we name of the data. So basically, we stick to the method or what we name as the 4 V's of data, which is the data volume, velocity, veracity, and variety. And for any ERP to be effective, it should consider to manage these types of data. Okay, so this is in a nutshell. Now, how the ERP evolved over the years? Okay, it goes back to the 1960s. So simply, the ERP started from an inventory management control system, where it was invented for the industrial, and basically then it started to develop and get automated. Where in the 1970s we had the MRP, the material requirement planning, or most of us are familiar with it more in the businesses as suggestion ordering, probably. Okay, so where the system can automate our ordering. Then we had the MRP2, where the MRP developed and started to be available for the production planning. Okay, then in the 90s we had the enterprise, the ERP, and then in the 2000s the ERP developed and became web-based as the internet became more accessible to business and companies. So it became web-based and more mobile and specific. And in 2010 onwards, we have witnessed the cloud-based ERP, and this was a main game changer in the industry that we will discuss it in the coming slides. So after that, what is next? Now most of the ERPs are working more on the mobility and the integration. Okay. So this is now on a high level as well. Why do we need an ERP, or what is the ERP benefits? Okay, so simply the ERP it support our growth, okay, or support the business growth. It supports it on different levels, like it can help us to manage and streamline the processes for control and audit. It will provide us data integrity and security. This is the most important. It will provide us real-time reporting, give us the right decisions, and simply it gives us more time for strategic thinking, and it will have us as a data-driven company. Now, if we estimate our time on day-to-day basis for companies who are siloed or who work each department solely, you can find that 60 to 70% of our daily operations are spent on spreadsheets and operating reports, and then you need to combine your reports, move them to your line manager, and the line manager to the finance, and the finance to combine all the data, and then at the end to give the actual status of the company. And by the time the data become obsolete over the days, it will lose the value, and you will lose your decision, your timely decision. So so basically, how did the ERP as well evolve in business? So let's talk about it in how it evolved in the ERP today's business and how it became accessible to SMEs. Back then, ERP was basically, when we hear ERP, all the companies believe that it would be a hefty investment, and it's expensive to be afforded by small to medium enterprises or even startups. Okay. However, if you witness the development of the ERP over the years from the 70s to the 90s, 2000 onwards, okay? So in the 90s, for example, it became available for the big enterprises. In 2000 to 2010, the SMEs started to have accessibility to the ERP. And nowadays, startups as well can have a very well oriented ERP and structured with best practices to fit their companies. So why is that? How it became accessible to them? Okay, so simply some facts that happened. Simply the technology is getting more affordable for everyone. Okay, as well there is more resource availability on different levels. The knowledge is becoming more easy to have, and you have more resource availability. Coding languages as well, they are becoming more comprehensive for users, okay, which making the development as well getting more agile, faster and easier. Competition and innovation, which can impact all industries. Hardware as well, hardware costs is becoming more affordable to SMEs. And the cloud availability. Cloud availability as well, it gave us the SaaS model, or what we name it as software as a service model. Okay, the technology as well started to transform from a capex model to opex model. That means previously you need to invest on the technology to be part of your investment and part of your capital. However, now you can still use the same technology by operating costs. You just have to pay as you go. Okay. As well, you have the standardizing the practices. The standardizing of practices eliminated the research and development in the business levels and the financial level. We had extensions and industry-specific solutions, and in general, so we had a lower total cost of ownership on the technology level. Okay, that's why today it became accessible for SMEs and startups even to have a very well-reputed ERP. Probably this area where we need to focus, I believe it can be an interest for most of you. So here we're defining the challenges on the financial level that the ERP basically face, or the ERP would focus on tackling it. Okay, so we split them into two types. We have the financial challenges on a global scale, on a global business scale, or let's say on a macro level, and we have the financial challenges on a business scale or on a micro level. Okay, so if we need to discuss them, basically ERPs mainly tend to tackle the localization of each country. So if you need to have an agile ERP where you can expand and extend your growth, you need to have it to be able to cover your country localizations. Like wherever you go, you can just deploy it and you're up and running. It will take into considerations all the rules and regulations. It will take considerations taxation laws. It applies with the accounting principles. The automation of the financials is very agile to consider the changes of the business and the new opportunities of the business. The costing structure is very important as well on a high level. Intercompany and consolidations, if the company needs to grow into multiple divisions or subsidiaries. Okay, audit and controls, chart of account structures to fit different templates and different audience, reporting audience is very important. IFRS and other standardizations that might come through the way, and in general, to be adaptable and agile to change. So this is in a nutshell as well. And on a technical level, wherever we go, wherever we implement the ERP, there are pain areas in the finance. Okay, so and the users or the end users or the companies, they need to tackle these pain areas. So basically, as a financial guy, I would prefer to have an ERP that gives me a solid chart of account structure with a proper breakdown and visibility. I need to control my entries, the bookkeeping of it. I need to have budget versus actual, cost allocations. Okay, so all of these mentioned, credit management, fixed asset management, the realized and unrealized difference of exchange that I have in the business. Um, so accounts versus payables, the cash flow, and the most important part of it is to have real-time financial reporting, okay, representing the actual status of my company. So this is on the financial level and what the ERPs are trying to solve for the financial industry. Okay. Now, as well, taking into consideration the challenges that you have on the functional level, ERPs are tending as well to develop and keep up to date with the technology level. Okay. So today, if we need to speak about the ERP technology, they are trying to cater two things. Okay, we have something named communication layer technology, and this means that the ERP has to have all the tools for the users to be able to communicate with it, whether through the PC client, whether through my mobile app, whether if I need to see my reports on real time, I need BI analytics, I need multi-language as well to be available for my different people available, okay, or different nationalities, for example, as well. And from the back end, it's very important is to be able to integrate with the third-party solutions or third-party products. Like for example, today I need my ERP to be connected to my e-commerce, for example. If I'm in an industrial or a factory, I need machine learning on top of it. I need to have the big data. So all of these as well are a main, I would not say a main challenge. However, these are the trend of the ERPs where they are trying to go and solve the solution of the front-end communication with the user, and at the same time taking into consideration all the back-end APIs and the connectivity that it can bring an edge to your operation. Okay. However, with all the things that the ERP is trying to bring to the businesses, we still in the SME market in specific, and here we are focusing on the SME. We are still in the SME market. They face a lot of challenges in selecting the proper ERP. So today they will ask us, okay, which ERP should I choose? What should I consider? Should I pay a SaaS model? Should I go for subscription? Should I invest on my hardware? And so many questions comes up. And basically, for the SME, the main challenge is that they need a business visibility. I mean, not only for SMEs, all companies, they need the business visibility. So they need to have real-time decision. They need to have integrated data, integrated departments as well together. They need to increase their productivity. And as well, they need to consider the main challenge they have is the business growth. So as we have the growth, we will have the challenges coming through the way. Because while we grow, the company will have new business requirements. It will have new processes. They might need to open new business segments. They need to diversify. So it's very important when you select your ERP at any point of time to consider that it will grow with your business and it will be adaptable and changeable with your business. And the third part, which is very important as well, I need to consider my business expansion. So I don't need to think that if today I implemented ERP in a specific country, so if I need to extend to another country, then new challenges will come. I need new localizations, new structures as well, the intercompany and consolidation, discussed it. So basically all of these brings a challenge in your ERP selection. However, you should consider them as well throughout the selection process. Okay. This is on the SME level. On the other hand, as well, the ERP is facing challenges. Okay, today you can hear a lot of companies or a lot of users. Probably sometimes they get frustrated of the ERPs or they get frustrated of the system, and this kind of ecosystem, it creates some barriers for the ERP evolution. And one of it, for example, if you need to talk about processes, there are companies or there are businesses which they are used for too many legacy processes, and it's difficult for them to change. Okay, it's difficult for them to change their existing process that probably they have been doing for the last 10, 20 years, and now you can come and force them to make a change. Then as well, we have a culture a challenge. Some people don't like to take the risk to innovate, or they are not into an innovation-driven culture, as we're mentioning here. Okay, we have as well certain organizations where are they so siloed. They work departmentally. They work solely with no integration. And as well, when they have the ERP where they need to have everything integrated as well, it comes for them a major challenge. Leadership is important. We need to have a vision and how to transform. We should have a good strategic thinking when we are selecting our technology, and to know that the technology that we are selecting, it will support our growth. It will support integrations. It supports, on the long run, and quite to be a good investment. And at the end, we have the people skills. Still, you always need to give the awareness. You need to build the people skills on how to operate the ERPs and to really get the value out of it. Okay, this is on the ERP level, and here I will introduce you as well on a high level on SAP. Talking about all the points that we mentioned, I will discuss about SAP as in a high-level introduction, and we will show you SAP Business One in specific, okay? A showcase, how it's tackling all the challenges that we have discussed, okay? So let me start with a brief about the SAP and some facts. So the headquarters of SAP, as we know, it's a German company in Waldorf. It started in 1972, and basically they are the pioneers of the ERP. Other players came in the 1986. Okay, as we speak today, SAP, they have 105,000 employees worldwide. Okay, they cover more than 140 nationality. On the customer level, they have a customer base of 450,000 customers in 180 countries, sorry. And SAP serves 230 million cloud users at the moment. And approximately 80% of SAP customers are SMEs. Okay. As their market position, they are the market leaders in ERPs, in enterprise application softwares, in BI, and in artificial intelligence and cloud-based marketing solutions. Okay. Now, talking about SAP, let's talk about the product portfolio. We hear a lot of SAP in different organizations, in different, let's say, industries. However, SAP, they have in their portfolio 3 main layers, let's say. They have the SAP Business One, which will be our focus today. They have the SAP by Design, which is a cloud-based ERP and covers the mid-sized businesses. And we have the SAP S/4HANA, which I believe is the famous SAP that covers as well SMEs and enterprise level with complex organizations. Okay. Now, as a showcase, we're going to discuss SAP Business One and have you some facts and the positioning of the SAP Business One. So if you see the products, you have the SAP Business One covering the SME market and the low-medium level of the market. Okay. Then you have the SAP by Design. However, it's purely a cloud-based ERP. And then you have the S/4HANA for large enterprises, which comes on cloud and on-premise. The three of them, they provide you built-in analytics. They provide you mobile accessibility, and they are powered by what we name as HANA technology or HANA database, which is a high analytics database where you get your data on real time and live. Okay. So some facts about SAP Business One, which is very important as well for us to know. So SAP Business One currently is the best-selling ERP solution by number of customers on a global scale. Okay, they have 70,000 plus customers available in 50 countries, and they cover 28 different languages. This is talking about the localization part, how they are tackling this area. So the 50 country localizations, they are used over 170 countries, basically. There is more than 300 software solution partners with extensions and add-ons to cover basically any industry you go in. Okay, it's implemented more than 700 value-added resellers, and as we said, SAP Business One is used in 170 countries. And the most important part that we should know is that even large enterprises today, to reduce their cost of the annual maintenances and the renewals of the ERPs, what they do is in their subsidiaries, they implement SAP Business One and they integrate it with their, whether they have S/4HANA or any large enterprise solution in the back end, but specifically S/4HANA. Okay. So how does it tackle the localization? So this, as you see, these are the current localizations that we have. Okay, including in the past 4 years now, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, and the GCC localizations are considered within SAP. Okay. Here they are mentioning countries making use of localizations are 170, and we have it in 28 different languages. Even that, if you are a user and you prefer a certain language, you can use the system with your own language. Okay. What does it cover as a digital core on it? What does it cover? So basically, it has the management and the administration, accounting and finance, okay, inventory and distribution, your logistics. You can have your production and MRP, material requisition planning, as we said. It covers project and resource management. It will cover you on sales, like your full CRM, sales and services, and you have purchasing and operation as well in the SAP. Okay. As well, further, it supports you on the technology level. It supports you on whether you need to go on cloud, whether it's an Internet of Things, machine learning, analytics. Okay, so it supports all of these on the back end, as well on the e-commerce level. Here are some key functions that you can get. I don't know if it's readable for you, but in a nutshell, as well, on a high level, SAP Business One have the following communication tools. It comes on as a web client. You can use it as a web client or a front end, client. You can have it on your mobile. It have analytics and dashboards, and it supports most of the languages, as we said, 28 languages and localizations. These are some of the features, which I will focus with you more on the financial part in the coming slides. Just if you have a look. Okay. And here I will take you to a high level feature. So basically today, as we speak, SAP Business One has its own business intelligence tools, where it gives you all your data on real time. For example, just as an example, you need to analyze your top 5 vendors by payable overdue, your customer receivables overdue. You need to see your revenue versus gross profit. Okay. As well, for example, it supports you with instant messages and alerts. For example, let's consider the PDC. Okay, we know that most of us through our daily operation, we collect the PDCs, and we need to know when to deposit these PDCs, when is the due date of these PDCs. So simply on daily basis, the system will alert me what credit limit deviations I have, if I have certain gross margin deviations, my aging, and so on. So all the alerts that you need on daily basis are customizable, and they can set the way you require. It supports you as well in live collaboration and supports chatbot. For example, You can share documentation between the users. Okay, for example, I need to share a journal entry. You can have your calendar and Outlook integration, and you can have your financial processes built in. Okay, so basically on the financial level, it will cover you on all the features required, from your journal vouchers to your payments to your reconciliations, bank reconciliations, your chart of account structures, and so on. Just a glimpse on it. Okay, like for example, today, if you have your chart of account, and from your chart of account, it's very important for the finance people to control the financial operation and what's happening. So basically, the chart of account can support you up to 10 levels of structuring. Okay, you can control your budgets, you can control your currency deviations. Okay, as well your cash flow. So everything you can set on your chart of account, and the system will behave according to the financial setup that you do in the back end. As well, regarding considering the IFRS standards, your reporting, and your localizations. So all of this can be adaptable the way you want. For example, as well, if you need to report your reports to different audiences, internal, external audiences, whether you need different coding structure, okay, as well, it's adaptable and it supports you on all of these levels. Okay, on the costing structure, it will cover you all on the dimensions, cost centers. You can have multi-dimensions. You can have, for example, if you need to manage your shared expenses, okay, you need to have the cost element posting and transferring from one department to another. You need to manage your budget by department. So all of these are automated and available for you. As well on the customer aging, okay, if you need to manage your doubtful debts, aging dues, by day, you need to see your aging by day interval, by week interval, okay. If you need to have multi-currency as well, aging, if you are a project company as well, and you need to have aging by project, so all of these are supported for you, okay. I don't know if I'm moving a little bit fast. However, just I'm giving you a glimpse or a brief on each and every feature for the. Let's say as well, major part of our daily challenges is to manage our cash flow or our cash flow projection. Okay, so here in SAP they provide us a very intelligent tool where you can simply just configure your cash flow. You need to consider the cash flow interval, okay, and then you can manage as well the certainty levels of your cash flow, and you can forecast how much certain your cash flow is, okay. So for example, checks today are not certain for me, so I can set the certainty on level 3, and then the system will give me a cash flow projection by certainty during a certain interval, okay. As well, it will give you a visibility in your upcoming collections and upcoming receivables, whether you have certain open orders, open purchase orders, or open sales orders to collect, okay. This is on the cash flow projection level. As well, one of my major challenges as a finance guy or as an accountant, I need to manage my statement of cash flow. I need to have it automated based on the incidents or the posting incidents that I have. So basically what you can do is you can manage your direct and indirect method cash flow. Okay, simply you define the incidents that you have and you map your incidents to, or you map your GL accounts to these incidents. And in this case, you will be able to get your cash flow analysis based on cash flow from the operating activities, as we know it, definitely the investing activities and the financing activities. And in this case, it will be automated, and as well you can have a visibility on the direct and the indirect methods. Okay. One of the interesting features that you can have is that as a company, and if you're dealing with a lot of imports and a lot of foreign exchange, okay, so you can automate your exchange rate difference and conversion differences, okay. So simply you need to select your account, you need to select your gain and loss account, and you execute it. So in this case, what the system does, it will automatically go and scan all the difference of exchange that you have in the system based on today's rates, and it will give you the net result. And at the end, you will approve it, and then you close your period and you're done. So, or your posting period, and you're done. This is one of the core pains that the companies face, is that when they need to report their financial status, and they have a lot of DOEs, okay, they have to wait until they close their difference of exchange, and then sum up their status and then represent it to the management. So in this feature, it will give us the option, it will give you the option to simulate. Today you can simulate your difference of exchange. You don't need to post it, or you don't need to close your period. You can just simulate your financials and say, what if I close my financials today on these rates and on these records? What would be my result? And then you will be able to get, let's say, simulated financial financial reports, sorry, and you can see your actual business status. Okay. When it comes to financial statements and reporting, as I said, you can definitely get all your financial statements, your balance sheet, your trial balance, P&L, and as well, if you set your budget, you can get your budget versus actual. You can get it on multiple levels. You can get it up to 5 level, and you can represent it in different methods, the way you want to show it to your audience or your auditors. Okay, so it supports you on different levels as well. The coding structure, or let's say the ledger structure, can be adaptable between whether you need to have it for internal use or you need to have it for as well external use, depending on your audience for this reporting. Okay. On the taxation level, or let's say the VAT declaration, it supports you on all levels, whether you have on your input tax, output tax, whether you have a reverse mechanism, whether you have a zero-rated tax. Okay, so all of these are covered. You can get your end of period reports, and you can just simply take the results and declare or submit your results. And definitely, you can drill down on a transaction level and see what's happening on transaction level and how your taxes have been generated. Talking about taxes as well, depending on each localization. So basically, if we go for, if you have, for example, withholding tax, you have profit tax, or income tax, sorry. So all of these can be maintained or managed in your SAP Business One. Going further as well on the technology level, okay, as we were speaking about the ERP and the financial challenges that the ERP tend to tackle, as well on the technology level now, they are tackling they're becoming more smart, let's say, and they need to embed the artificial intelligence or the AI in these systems. So they started to come up with certain features which are really helpful, and just I'm giving you as well a brief on it. For example, today the systems will track your day-to-day sales and, for example, my customer performance. Okay, and then based on that, the other day or the other week that I need to come and I need to do a sales transaction with my customer, the system will automatically recommend the SKUs or the products, okay, that are the most selected by this customer, and then simply you can generate automatically your orders for these customers based on the system recommendation. as well, when it comes to your sales forecast, it will consider your historical data, it will consider your lead times, okay, it will consider your sales forecast, and then based on all of that, it will generate for you like how much you should order, or how much you should forecast for the upcoming period to cover your demand in the your upcoming demand in the coming months. Okay, so basically these are high level features. I didn't need to make it long on you. So some of our clients and customers that are involved with us in the digital transformation in UAE and in the region, okay, can have a glimpse on them from different industries, okay, from the F&B industry to the production to the event as well, like for example COP18, the UN convention, Rolex, and so on. Okay, so this is basically in a nutshell, and I kept 15 minutes for you for any Q&A discussions or questions that would you'd like to ask.
Right. Thank you very much, Salim, for sharing all the professional insights. So I believe you are done with the presentation, and I appreciate all the professional insights you have shared with us today, with our members and affiliates across the Middle East. So the floor is open, please. Feel free to ask any question on the chat box, the questions, so we can address that.
Yeah, I would be happy to answer your questions.
Sure. Okay, one of the questions we have, Salim, from the audience: how can we get hands-on training on SAP for aviation sector? Okay,
so basically, to have hands-on training for the SAP in general and not only on the aviation sector, they can access they need to be provided an access through the one of the SAP partners, okay, to the SAP portal to access it, and they can have the demo version of it, and they can go and do some trial transactions.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We have more questions coming up, Salim, so we'll be addressing a few more questions from our members. Right. So one of the questions we have: what are the cost savings associated with moving ERP to the cloud? Which I believe you have highlighted during the presentation.
Yes. Actually, there is a big advantage in cloud, depending on the company size and the number of users and the the transaction volume that they have. However, roughly if you calculate up to 5 years, of cloud can equalize roughly the investment of your hardware. The cloud, there is lot of variables. There's lot of variables whether to consider if you have an integrated environment, whether you have you need to extend your environment to third-party solutions. So all of these will add a cost on the cloud. Okay, will add a cost on the cloud. However, if you just need to take it as a standalone solution, or simply, as a standard solution deployed and for access use, cloud will be much more affordable than the hardware investment. Yes, because sorry Malik, because as well on the hardware level, you need to have you need to consider as well the cost that comes with it, the technical people that need to maintain your hardware, the AC rooms, the servers,
The servers, right? I believe, yeah, one of the main challenges SMPs or SMEs or generally any corporate,
servers, exactly.
is it right? The service to manage that. Great.
Yeah.
So few more questions, Salim, coming up. So, do you really believe cloud ERP an effective business continuity strategy?
Yes, definitely. Now, everybody is moving to cloud for many reasons. One of it is security, mobility, and expansion as well. So nowadays, cloud is our, is our target. We're trying to move our customers to cloud. It's a less headache for them to maintain their environment. And basically now through let's say the big players, AWS, Azure, SAP as well. So they have a very secured environment, and they just need to use the software, and that's it. And you're up and running. You don't need to consider any headache on the hardware level.
Right. That's why I believe many employers globally, they are moving towards cloud, whether SMPs or SMEs or even, of course, big ones, they are moving towards cloud. So one more question. Who owns the SAP or basically the ERP, whether it's SAP or other than provider integration project? Who generally in companies I believe hold such integration project?
I don't know if I get the question right, but who are the companies who probably runs SAP in general? Or
I believe within the companies or the audit firms or any kind of business. So who generally holds that kind of integration project if they're moving towards? Is it the IT alone?
okay,
Is it
so
together collaboration with finance functions? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, let's say in the ERP project or SAP project, the key users or the key players who should come to the table, if you want, and design the ERP are the finance people. Yes, the finance, the decision makers, the line managers, who they are very well, who knows their business inside out. So these are the key people who should be available. And definitely in any implementation or any project implementation, there should be one project manager who's had been selected by the company internally to manage the people internally and have the authority to drive the implementation. And it should always come top down decisions, to streamline your processes.
Right, because it's not a one-man show, right? It's a teamwork. It's a team effort, right?
And it should, and we should, the company should have one dimension, one way of thinking, strategically and technically, like where we are now and where are we expected to reach on the transformation level. Yes.
Yeah, and I believe you highlighted the key role finance professionals and chartered accountants they play. Such
at the end, I can tell you something as an audience on this: 60 to 70% of the ERP implementation success comes from the finance structure that is built in the back end. When you build a proper financial structure, which is the backbone of any ERP, whatever comes upfront on the operation and the operation challenges, they are all can be twisted and tuned to cover your operation. However, at the end, I need to have my financials right, my reporting right, my business status in the right form. Yeah. So that's why financial people have a main role in this.
Right. Yeah, of course. Totally agree on that. So a few more questions, Salim. Do you, SAP offer certified training? I mean, you as as A and B, I mean art and business innovation, as your company, do you offer such kind of training? Once I believe the question, once any of the SMPs or SMEs, so I believe yes, of course. The answer, once you do such implementation, of course it will come with a capacity building, I believe, or training, right?
Yeah. For educational training, there are some educational partners, or they can get their educational training through training centers. Our training basically is specified more on the service level that we do for our customers oriented. We are oriented on the customer level. However, on the personal level or individual level, it's better for them to go through education partners, SAP education partners, or as well, there's a lot of certificate bodies, let me say, who can offer the testing exams and the courses for SAP. And one thing they have to know, that they have to be very selective in which area they need to get their training.
Right. Okay. Thanks for that. Few more questions. Are there any audit-related courses or certificates for ERP, and which do you recommend, basically, and why? In particular, the question about what audit-related courses or certificates for ERP. Is there such things on ERPs?
Honestly, up to my there should be, but up to my knowledge at the moment, I cannot recommend anything. Yeah, but I mean, in general, ERP, they are playing a big role in the you know, in the controlling and the audit part. Okay. However, it's specifically to name certain exams or certain courses, yeah, I don't have at the moment in mind yet.
Right. No worries. Thank you. Few more questions. Very happy to take that. We still have 5 minutes, so as much as we can address this question, very important for our members to share these insights. So, question to share more about. If you can share more information about data security that comes with SAP. So can you share a little bit more about the data security, please?
The data security as well is it's a very generic question. However, I can answer you to this depending on the environment. The security depends on the environment that you use. When it comes to SAP, right. SAP provides you a secure database, which it's not easy to glitch, or it's not easy to corrupt, or it's not easy to break it down. However, on the security level, you have to ensure your environment, whether if you are on cloud, definitely you have the security of the cloud. And if you are on your servers, then you have to take care of your security on this. However, when we come to HANA technology, if they are interested to know a little bit more technically, when you come to HANA technology runs on Linux and not Windows, and that means that Linux is not easy to as well to
much more secure, right?
Much more. Let's say that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I don't want to dig deep into this, but yes, sure. As well. The main thing is the databases are so secured, and it's a closed environment for them. Yeah.
Right. So hence, I believe one of the questions here is about the differences, or from data security perspective, between SAP Business One versus the S/4HANA, right? Where that, I believe, it's more developed towards, I mean, the small, medium-sized organizations, the SMEs or SMPs. So I believe it's easier, right? And the data security would be required less for the SAP Business One, right?
It's in general the hardware environment and specifications to run an SAP Business One is much more, let's say, lower specifications than what we need to run an S/4HANA. So the server specs, in general, that's what you need for us. However, on the functionality level, it depends on the business requirements. You cannot compare, because today the technology, right, even on Business One technology, it can support you up to 500, 1,000 users at a time, and the system can keep up and running. However, it depends on your business complexity, processes, whether, for example, you are into custom engineering, whether you are in manufacturing, automotive. So depending on your industry and what challenges it brings.
Right, right. Excellent. Thank you for that. A few more questions. One of the questions, can you please name other ERPs also which are affordable for small businesses or SMPs or SMEs, in addition to, of course, SAP? So,
I mean, I need
Microsoft
to
is
name
there. Microsoft is there.
yeah, exactly.
Oracle is there, right? Oracle,
all of the players, Malik, all the players have, if you want, different tiers of ERPs, and they try to support different enterprise levels or enterprise size. So for SAP, they have the Business One for the SME and the by design. Oracle, they have their ERPs as well, and Microsoft, they have 3 different tiers of ERPs to support them. And depending on the investment or cost variation, they all fall roughly in the same zone, if you want. Yeah.
Right, and hence I believe SAP is one of the leading in that industry, in particular, in that kind of or the size of business.
And specifically in the technology, they were the pioneers in ERP,
right.
or what we've seen as ERP today. Definitely others probably they were focused more on software like operating systems or databases. Or however, for SAP they were focused, and there's probably millions or not billions of time of money and time spent on consultancy hours and on standardizing the processes, which you get it definitely by just deploying the standard SAP. All what you need is to configure it and tailor it as you want, as your business needs.
Right. Thank you, Salim. So one more question coming up again about the cost, basically. So just so you can give us a rough idea about the cost of SAP starting price for startups. And of course, we're talking about here SAP Business One, right? So can you share just an indicative, just a rough figures how much our members understand?
I mean, again, it depends on the number of users they have, on the number of users, and the we can answer these questions. I prefer by email or something, because it's
different variables. I totally understand. It depends on the size of business, on the number of users, as much as I understand.
Just throw a price, and it's not easy to do that. So you need to know exactly. You need to qualify the business, number of users, the requirements needed from you, and all of this can. But basically, when I mentioned the startups part, is that as well we are providing through our company a very interesting package for the startups. For example, 2 to 5 users, 5 to 10 users, who they need to run SAP with a very affordable prices. So yeah, they can invest in it and be up and running in no time.
Right. Right. Thank you. So other questions, Salim. So for small accounting practices, right? And we have, I believe, many of our members, they do work in addition to the Big Four. They work for, as you know, for small, medium practices. The question here, do you recommend, or from your point of view, that small accounting practices, do you recommend they would invest in having such ERPs as the SAP Business One for their practices?
By the way, at the moment we have a lot of, I can say, affiliations, or we have a lot of people who we work with in the audit industry and the accounting industry, who they have SAP for their internal use. So it's very highly recommended for one reason, because when you buy SAP, you buy it as a platform, and it's not a software. You buy it as a platform, and you can run on it multiple companies. So sometimes audit firms, they tend to have it, because under one umbrella or one engine, let's say, they can run multiple companies for their clients. So yeah, we highly recommend it actually.
Right, excellent, excellent.
And
So,
cost effective as well.
yeah, exactly. As you have shared, comparing to other big ERPs, whether it's from SAP or other leading, technology companies, of course, it makes sense for SMEs or SMPs to invest in such small to mid-size ERPs. So I'm just conscious of time. I believe we have addressed many questions so far. So I believe our session comes to an end. So thank you very much one more time, Salim, for sharing all the professional
everyone.
insights
Thank you, Malik.
about, the ERP. It's a very interesting topics, of course, in particular to our members and affiliates in the region, and I believe to all professional accountants and finance professionals, because it has a huge impact on the accountancy and finance profession in general, because this is the direction, right? This is the direction. I believe whether it's an accounting firm or accounting practices or audit, or even in any industries, the direction towards and the investment in technology, this is the future, right? And that's where we see all employers, they are moving towards information systems and ERPs, because it's an enabler, as we say, technology to improve businesses. So thank you very much one more time, Salim, for sharing all these professional insights today with our members and affiliates across the region. I would like to thank, of course, our members and affiliates for joining our session today. We look forward to meeting you face-to-face, hopefully, with upcoming CPD sessions in different countries and cities across the Middle East. So just want to highlight that the CPD certificate will follow the session in like an hour or two. You will get all of the attendees, you will get your CPD certificate to claim that. So we'll send that to you, and of course a recording for the webinar will be also placed on our ACCA Middle East hub, so you can have access to that. And of course, for our members who registered and didn't get the chance to join us today, they can also have access and benefit from that. So until here, our session will end. Thank you very much one more time.
Thank you everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.